What is up, everybody? We are back in the Kerbalverse. Let's play KSP. Today, it's episode 17. We're doing things a little bit differently. As you can see down here in the bottom right hand corner, I have the most up to date, I believe, version of KSP, version 1.12.5. And I also have the expansion packs, Making History and Breaking Ground. So, with this being the most up-to-date version, I've been looking through some tutorials and just walkthroughs of how to advance your Kerbal career. And while we have a lot of funds in our Let's Play career, I realized that I could have done a lot of things differently. We're using the default Kerbal flag in career mode, normal difficulty options. We're starting a whole new career. We're going to attempt to do Mike Aben's Absolute Beginner's Guide, but just starting out with career mode because he had started in science mode. So we're going to career mode. Been looking through a lot of different things on the KSP Wikipedia, KSP Wiki. Everything that I've found is extremely out of date, and while yes, most of it all works in the same fashion, a lot of things don't have the same, I froze here a little bit, a lot of things don't have the same names anymore. So I just wanted to, I don't understand, why am I freezing? There we go. Hello, here we go. Okay, and we're in. So, sorry for the technical issue. If you've never played and you're starting a new game, you're going to be greeted by Gene Kerman. He's the flight director here at the KSC. He tells you how we can move around and how to look about stuff here at the KSC. So the first three things that we need to worry about are the buildings. First one we need is mission control. That one is where we're going to get our contracts at. Second one is the vehicle assembly building, because that's where we're going to build our rockets to launch and hopefully earn science, which is where the third one comes into play, research and development, which is where we will be spending the science to unlock new research nodes and be able to unlock new parts. There is a tracking station, the spaceplane hangar, astronaut complex, and the administrative building, as well as the flagpole. These are all actual, and the launch pad and the runway. There's also the crawler way right there, I believe is what that's called. That they're all their own specific biomes in the KSC, so you can take science from each one of these specific locations and it'll count towards your science, which we'll get to that in a little while. But so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and go to mission control, and we're going to accept our contracts. So now you notice we have 25,000 funds to start out with, and that's stock. We can adjust that if we wanted to. I did not want to. First thing we want to do is accept some contracts, because that's how we're going to get our funds in the game. You don't really get funds any other way. So we want to gather scientific data from Kerbal. These are from the Kerbal World First Record Keeping Society, and any of the agencies that offer you contracts, if it is the Kerbal World First's Record Keeping Society contracts, these are storyline contracts. And we'll get into non-storyline contracts later, but anything by this agency is the storyline contract. So we're gonna go ahead and accept this one. We need to recover, transmit any science experiment data from Kerbal to achieve this goal. More specifically, give us a quick crew report before launching. That's important, before launching. But for accepting this, we will get an advance of 2,000 funds, 2,240 to be specific, and we will receive an additional 4,160 1 science, and 2 reputation upon successful completion. So we're going to go ahead and accept that. You can see we got those 2,240 funds. We're also going to accept the launch our first vessel contract. We'd like to officially start off the space program with a bang, a very controlled bang preferably. So that one's pretty simple. We just need to launch our first vessel off the launch pad or runway. We're going to focus on the launch pad to achieve this goal. We will get an advance of 1,120 Kerbal bucks or Kerbucks. And upon successful completion, that's as an advance. So immediately, once we accept this contract, that'll get added to our funds up here, our bank, if you will. So upon successful completion, we will get an additional 2,080 funds, 1 science point, and 1 reputation. So we're going to go ahead and accept that as well. We are not going to focus on completing that contract right now. I want to focus on maximizing our funds and maximizing our science as early as possible to be able to get into orbit as quick as possible. Because there's a lot of things that we got to do before we can get there. There's a lot of things in order to catch up with Mike Aben's tutorial that we got to get there. So when we first get into the vehicle assembly building, we'll be greeted by Van von Kamen. He's a resident chief rocketry engineer, so he tells you how to get around. If you're new to the game, you might need to go through the tutorials. They are very good, but I mean, the best way to do it is to play it yourself. So for this one, I'm not even gonna really name it. We don't even really need to. We're just gonna have the Mark 1 command pod. Scroll wheel, mouse scroll wheel to go up and down, shift in the scroll wheel to zoom in, and then right click and drag to rotate. We are going to get a science because we're not actually going to launch this. We're just going to put it out there, get some science, and then get it back. So we're going to put a mystery goo. Actually, we're going to do 2-time mystery goo containment units. Shaboop. There we go. We spent 2,235. Let's see, who do we got in here? We got Jebediah Kerman, the OG. Piloting. We don't need a parachute because we're not launching, but we are going to collect science and we are going to take a crew report. So we're just going to go ahead and take this guy out to the launch pad and see how it goes. Go over a few things because I didn't realize that we could do this until watching Mike Aben's videos. So if you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. He's got a lot of really good information and he knows what he's talking about. I just want to get to that point. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in by scrolling the mouse wheel. Things are a little different out on the launch pad than they were in the VAB. You have the scroll, your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and then still the right click and drag, but the shift and scroll wheel doesn't do the same thing here. Shift actually does your throttle, and then control throttles down. But we don't need to worry about that right now because we're not going to do anything about that. Right now, what we're going to do, we are going to take our crew report. You can see the green bar is all the way full, 100% science value. We're going to keep that. We're going to go ahead and observe both of our mystery goos, because as you can see here, we only got 42%, or that's if we transmit it. What is that, about 80%? Probably. If that's 42, that's about 80. So we'll keep that, and then we'll do the same thing over here, and keep that. That should give us a little bit extra. We could recover this now, but instead we are going to EVA because I just found out we could do this only when we're on land. We can go ahead and zoom in. Wish the texture didn't do that. It's alright. And we are going to do an EVA report. 100% science data value. Didn't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? No jib, it was not. But we're gonna keep that. You can get down if you want to. Spacebar to let go. We can run around, do stuff, but we can't take a crew report yet. We can lower our visor. We can remove our helmet entirely, and we can remove our neck ring if we wanted to, but we can't take soil samples yet. So we are going to go ahead and press F to climb back in there, and B to board again. Now we're going to recover this vessel and see what happened. Hey. Okay, so we got a total of 9.6 science for that. Just couldn't take a crew, or we couldn't take a soil sample. We took a crew report, but we couldn't take a soil sample. Excuse me. We observed the mystery goo from the launch pad twice. We got 3.7 science total. We got 1.5 science for our crew report, and 2.4 science for our EVA report, which was 7.6 science. Somehow that got rounded up to, oh, well, that's right, because we did a contract completion. We can't see that right now, and that's okay. Oh, wait. Anyway, either way, we got 9.6 science for not even launching a craft. We got 100% of our value back. So that means we spent 2,235 funds on our craft. We got 2,235 funds from our craft. We got advancements for 2 contracts, and we completed 1 contract, which gave us our rewards for that. And we also got 1 experience gained for Jebediah. I'm assuming because he EVA'd. So let's go and check out our contract completion rewards. Let's see. Yep. So we got, gather scientific data from Kerbal, which was a contract parameter. We achieved this goal. 6,400 Kerbucks, 1 science. That's where, so we got 7.6 for the science we did during our quote unquote launch. There was a science point, so it would have put us up to 8.6. If we go over here for the actual contract, we got another science point, so that's why we have 9.6. But either way, we got 2 reputation for this contract parameter, and an additional 2 reputation for the actual contract, and 4,160 funds for actually completing it. So we're gonna go ahead and close those, and we got 2 world first milestones. This is another way that we can get Kerbucks into our bank and some extra reputation. We performed an EVA test at home, and we performed the first one of our experiments at home. Both of those gave us 3,200 Kerbucks and 1 reputation each. I'm not going to close out of that. I would like to see how this changes as we progress. So just note, those are our first 2. Now, we have 9 science. We can come down here and spend some science. See, that would give us the swivel, the hammer, and the fuel tank. We're not gonna need those yet because we haven't even used the fuel tank or the engine that we got in the basic. The only reason why I'm gonna go ahead and unlock this engineering 101 So we can start doing more science with this 2-hot thermometer. We also get a decoupler, so that'll allow us to decouple and use multiple stages with our basic rocketry part, which I don't know how well that'll work, but it would allow us to do it. We're gonna need it all anyway. It's a lot of science. It's a lot of science to unlock, and that's 1,000 science points to unlock that. After you spend 550 to unlock that, 300, 160, 90, 45, 18, and 5. So just steadily increases. We're gonna need to unlock it all at some point, so might as well go ahead and start, right? So we're gonna go to Engineering 101, which includes the TD12 decoupler, the 2-hot thermometer, and a couple of communication, what would you call those? Antennas. And so that way we can send our research back to Kerbal. Not really too worried about that because we're going to be recovering our crafts. So, but I want the 2-hot thermometer. I want the TD12 decoupler, so I went ahead and researched it. We have 4.6 science remaining. We have 450,000 funds. Might as well go to not research, I'm sorry. Might as well go to the mission control and accept another contract just to get some more funds. Let's go with the escape the atmosphere, because we have to escape the atmosphere before we can orbit. And before we can do that, we have to launch our first vessel still. So let's get that. Escape the atmosphere. We get an advance of 11,200 Kerbucks, and once we complete it, we will get 20,000. So we almost doubled our funds. We got 20,000 funds with that first launch, so that was pretty dang good. We're gonna have to do better though. So here we got 56,000. Now we have doubled, over a little bit over. 75,000 to upgrade that. We can get more contracts. So that is what we're going to focus on, because we want as many funds as possible. Then we can start looking at other options. We're going to need to do launch pads so we can increase our max vessel weight and size. We're going to need to upgrade our vehicle assembly building so we can upgrade our max parts and unlock basic action groups. We are going to need to unlock or upgrade the tracking station. As you can see, it says it's upgrade required for flight planning, which patched conics, which will allow us to get to orbit and show us those different nodes. We'll get into that at some point. But then also the max power of our antenna will be increased, so we can be able to transmit data farther into space. Then of course, research and development will end up having to upgrade those at some point too, and the astronaut complex, that way we can perform EVAs not on the surface. So like if we land in the water, we couldn't EVA right now, because we wouldn't be landed on the surface. We have to upgrade that before we can do that. So either way, we got a lot of stuff that we can upgrade. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and line up that like button for me. If you want to stay up to date with all things 420, go ahead and spark up that subscribe button as well. Next episode, we're going to be building a craft to actually launch, so I hope you turn in for that. But yeah, it's going to do it, guys. So I hope you all enjoy your weekend, and until the next adventure, stay toasty, my friends.